well, guys, you can put this one on my most disappointing stout of the year. One of the most disappointing stouts I've ever reviewed. Period. You know, just drinking beer in general. Oh my gosh. That's so boring. Let me explain what's wrong here. When it was cold, blueberry artificial sugar and syrup just overpowered the whole palate. I'm like, ugh, just like, no, this sweet blueberry syrup, way too much of it. Like they squirted all this blueberry syrup at the last minute, and it dilutes everything that you would consider the roasted character of this stout. So I thought, okay, I'm going to give it time to warm up. I've been at about 20 minutes now to give it a chance. There's nothing here that screams Imperial Stout. The roasted character is dead. There is no hop profile that I can even register. Like it's under 30 IBU. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was under 30 IBU. And for a 10.5, how? I mean, the mind is turning. Like, why wouldn't you add more hops to this beer? It's a bourbon barrel aged. Add some complexity and depth to the body to balance out that sugary sweetness. Nope. It's a muted stout with tons of sugary syrup on top of it. And it's not blended well. I'm not getting the chocolate really at all, and any of those roasted characters that this beer desperately needed. This beer was brewed for the brewer's little sister who loves these flavors. That's cool. So they were trying to make a less intimidating stout, maybe for someone who doesn't like stout. I can see where this would then be of use if you're trying to brew this for a non-stout fan who doesn't like roasted malt and like sweet. I actually have a friend, for example, he may actually like this beer because he loves fruit beers, sweet beers, and he may actually like this as a stout alternative. Not this guy. Not me. I want my super bold roasted stouts, and I want those flavors to be balanced, rich, and syrupy and earthy. This is just syrupy and sweet, but there's like no balancing factor to make it appealing to me. 85, guys. There we go, guys. This is Cyclone signing out. I'll see you on the next beer review. What's going on, YouTube? It's Cyclone here. As you just saw in the last video, I had a pretty shitty stout a couple nights ago. I need to get that taste out of my mouth ASAP. I think I have a pretty big improvement from that one. Tonight is Deadpool 2 night, guys. I'm very excited. I'm going to the opening night, and that's going to be in a few hours. I'm going under the influence, so I'm going to be getting driven there, and I will be starting my drinking with this review. Tonight's stout, to celebrate this awesome occasion, this fun movie that I can't wait to go watch, is Avery's annual barrel series bourbon stout, guys, from Avery's. This is a little bottle. It's a 12 fluid ounce bottle. This is a regular bottle of beer, one portion, coming in at $14. Why is it $14? Because it is 17.1% ABV, guys. This is a monster. This is stronger than a glass of wine, okay? And if it's made properly, I do enjoy Avery Stout. I've had their coconut porter and their vanilla stout. Both were excellent overall and good value. This one is priced in the elite category. Obviously, it's 17.1%. But I want to find out, what they're giving me at that ABV. What am I getting for this price and for the ABV? It's 6 months in the barrel. That's good to hear. Silky smooth, full-bodied, and altogether extremely American rendition of an Imperial Stout in the very finest bourbon barrels. Okay, guys. No IBUs. It's a stout. Who cares? Yeah. This is a bourbon barrel-aged stout for 6 months. at 17% ABV with the Avery stout body. I'm hoping that this is going to be a real treat. Happy Deadpool, everybody, and the bottle is open, guys. This is a sipper. I'm going to enjoy this for the next, I can smell it from here. Wow. Ooh, getting some nice chocolate notes in here already. Vanilla chocolate, caramel, toffee. I haven't even poured it yet. Let's get up. I can probably go right down the middle here. If I can't, I'd be shocked. There's some carbon. Do you see that carbonation? What? This is a 17% stout. That is more carbonated than I thought, guys. For a 17% stout, I'm getting every fucking drop out of here. Oh, and by the way, this was bottled in February of 16, and it is May 18, so it is over 2 years old. It is prime drinking condition. Let's see, it is, May 18th. So, guys, we are at just about we're 2 years and 3 months old. Pitch black. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else. Not even hints of light. Just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Poured more of a head than I expected, but I did vigorous pour. Beautiful beer, guys. Lovely. Let's take a real sniff of this one, see what we got. Huge bourbon, guys. Wonderful, wonderful. I can smell the barrel in here. Oh, that's wonderful. Vanilla, chocolate, caramel. Maybe even getting some hints of cherry already, but like dark, sweet cherry, not bitter, sour cherry. Dark and sweet cherry, like in a cherry pie. Getting some molasses, getting some of that dessert syrupiness you get in these big stouts, which I always love. Beautiful nose, absolutely beautiful nose, and this is an elite priced beer, so it better give me an elite price taste, guys. I have my expectations high. The nose and the looks are both hitting it for me. So much better than the one I had a couple nights ago, guys. Cheers. Let's see if this is a really, truly awesome stout. Big beer. Big beer. Oh. Big. Bourbon. I can taste the bourbon. I can taste the bourbon. For 17%, I'm not surprised. I've only had a couple of stouts even near this ABV. I had one that was 17.5. But that was at a beer festival. That one was shockingly smooth on the palate. Like I didn't even taste the bourbon in the aftertaste all that much. I do taste the bourbon here. Strong whiskey notes. It's the bourbon is palatable. I can taste the bourbon in here. This is gonna knock some people silly. I'm telling you right now, this is not a beer for everybody. This is not for everybody. This beer is. Sorry, give me one moment. Give me one moment. Actually, I'm going to let the flavor... let me see here. I can still taste the bourbon on the back end. This beer needs to warm. I definitely want it to warm. Maybe that's going to blend. Out of the fridge, the bourbon is sharp. I can taste distinct bourbon notes. Excellent nose. Excellent look. Such a rich... It's reminding me of the barrel-aged Yeti Stout, but the bourbon is sharper here. And it's 17.1%. Come on, it's almost inevitable, guys. This is a massive beer. That Avery's body is here. It's kind of medium, right down the middle. There's a little bit of a breadiness to it, a little bit of a creaminess, but it's not as creamy or intense as some of the other stouts I've had out there. It's like right down the middle, but it's a big enough mouthfeel to handle the beer. Tons of bourbon in this beer right now. I taste pure bourbon in here. Does that mean it's a bad beer? Absolutely not. This means that it was aged in 6 months in bourbon barrels. And I'd be shocked if a barrel-aged beer at this ABV, meaning they basically they fermented the hell out of this beer and they let it sit for 6 months. I mean, my gosh. You're going to get huge ABV off of that. You know, instead of reducing the alcohol, they bumped it up as basically as far as you'll take most beers, you know, the high teens. Beers above that start to become wines and just liquors, you know. They almost fail to become beers. This is a massive beer. Great mouthfeel. Up front, I am getting some of the dark chocolate, some of the molasses, hints of vanilla, and that Avery Stout roastedness. If you've had their stouts, like Avery's has a very consistent theme with their stouts. It's like that stout body exists in all of their stouts, at least the ones I've had. It's just that nice, balanced, medium body, medium carbonation stout body. And it's usually very uniform, which means they don't really, mess with the malt amounts too much. A beer like this, I would assume, has more malt in it for the amount of alcohol you're providing me, but it feels like a very similar body to the green labels that I've had. Just throw in some shots of bourbon, though. I can taste the bourbon. This is massive. It's starting to balance a little bit. Blend. So the bourbon is starting to blend into the malt. There's a nice roasted character on here. Getting a little bit of hop on the back end. A little bit more bitterness than the other one I had a couple nights ago, which at 10% tasted like water. Well, this one captured the stout theme and the stout style beautifully. Let me give it more time, and I'll come back with my final thoughts. What's going on, guys? Excellent beer. Absolutely excellent. I mean, they nailed the style. They made it very, very nicely. It's blended after warming. The bourbon notes have kind of subdued into the malt so that now it's just a nice smokiness in the beer. Very impressive. Very, very impressive job. Well done, Avery's. And you put the date on this one, and I can tell you care more about these, $14 12-ounce bottles than your green labels. I wish they'd put dates on all of their beers. That would be fantastic. This nose is a 10. Wonderful nose. Absolutely captures everything you want. Bourbon notes and roasted malts and chocolates and vanillas and toasted coconut. And even some caramel and toffee in the nose. With that being said, the flavors that I'm looking for are a little bit muted. I mean, it's such a nitpick, but I've had a perfect Imperial Stout at this ABV, actually higher. It was the Double Barrel VSOD by Revolution Brewing. That was a perfect score for me. I had 2 glasses of it at a beer fest, and I could tell that it was the best stout I had ever had at even near that ABV. It was absolutely mind-blowing how sweet it was, how smooth it was. I could taste the chocolate, the vanilla, the caramel. I even got some like dessert malts in there. It was fantastic. And I didn't have as much alcohol on the palate as this beer. Now, I love bourbon, so I'm not like complaining. But I have to look at the fact that it's supposed to be a beer, right? So this one features a lot of the bourbon smokiness and a lot of that intensity. But there's a more muted presence of the dessert factor of this beer, of the chocolates, vanillas, and the toffees, and the caramels. It's here. They're in here. But they're a little bit more muted than that other beer. And I remember distinctly how blown away I was by that beer. But this is like the next best thing. If I had to give this a score out of 10, it would be the next rating a 9.5. I go by 0.5 increments. But if I had to give it a score out of 100, it would be a 99. Because everything else is working for me. Even the price, it's worth the price. You're going to get so wasted off of 2 of these bottles, you won't know what to do with yourself, right? But for what I have here in front of me, and a date, and a description of what it is, 6 months, wonderful beer. It's super balanced. It's wonderfully made. I can't complain about anything in this beer, but I just wish the featured flavors of chocolate, vanilla, caramel, toffee, and toasted coconut, which I am getting, were a little bit bumped up even more. Just a little bit more. So hard to make beers like this, a stout at this ABV, work. This is fantastic. Excellent beer. The fact that I'm giving it a 99, don't take that as an insult or a criticism. It's fantastic. It really is a great beer. And the bourbon's on here, and I'm just going from experience, and the fact that I am rating this with my highest, critical lens on. I'm looking for perfection here because it's a $14 12-ounce bottle. That's an insane price. That is a massive price for $14. I am looking for only the best for a 100. It's a 99. And just to give you an idea of how anal I am about the price tag here, if this were a $12 bottle, you might see that 100 come up, guys. Again, I review a beer from every factor that I can. Some people don't care about the price. That's cool. Some people think that the flavor dictates everything, and that's fine too. But I look at every factor. This was a $14 beer, and I only got one portion of it. And it's high ABV, but I've tasted a 10 before. It blew me away. This is not quite as good, just a notch below it. Let's find out what Beer Advocate is saying about it. It's an A+ beer, absolutely. It is a world-class beer. Let's take a look and see what people are saying. I doubt that people. What the hell? Come on. Oh my goodness. There we go. Avery. Let me find out where this sucker is. This is going to be the annual barrel series of 2016. Annual. Uncle, okay, got it. Uncle Jacob's Stout. It's coming in at so this review is almost pointless because every year it's changing, okay? They have nothing more recent. How am I supposed to go off of this shit? Uncle Jacob's Stout. Uncle Jacob's Stout was originally listed at 14.9%. That's far from what it is now. 17.1, guys. This is the 2016 edition. So every year it's obviously changing. And I don't know if it's only going up every year or if they're mixing up the numbers. It's so close to perfect, I can taste it. But I can't. I just want a little bit more sweetness on it. That's it. That's all I'm looking for because everything else is perfect. It's so good in the style. You must pick this up. My nitpicks are due to the price. Really. And even then, this is as close to perfect as I'll possibly give a beer. It's so fucking close. So pick it up. Be warned. It is a bourbon-heavy beer, super high ABV, intense, but it does mellow out with warming. As all these big-bodied stouts do, it kind of blends in. So you get this malty, chocolatey, dark flavor up front. You get this nice smokiness in the back, but I'm just looking for a little bit more sweetness on the beer. That's it. But it's fantastic, guys. Anyway, this is Cyclone signing out. Let's go see Deadpool 2, and I'll see you on the next beer review.